Second question. Given sec theta is equal to 13 by 12, then calculate all other trigonometric ratios. So we have been given sec theta is equal to 13 by 12. Okay, and we have to find all other trigonometric ratios. That means sine, cosine, tangent, cosecant, and cotangent. So sec theta is 13 by 12. We'll just represent a triangle, that'll be easier. This is the angle, right angle, and this is theta. So we know what sec theta is. Sec theta is 13 by 12. What is sec theta? Sec theta means hypotenuse by adjacent side. Hypotenuse by adjacent side, right? So if we label this A, B, C, AC is the hypotenuse. So this would be hypotenuse AC by adjacent side AB. So we can, since this is a ratio, this will be multiplied by a factor of k. We can multiply this by a factor of k because we are not sure whether 13 is the actual value of this length of this side. We know it's a multiple of that value, 13. So we can write AC is 13k, where k is some constant, and AB is 12k. We just have to find BC. We can find BC using Pythagoras theorem. So BC would equal to root of AC square minus AB square, which would be equal to root of 13k whole square minus 12k whole square, which is equal to root of 169k square minus 144k square equal to 25k square. We remove the root 5k. So we found BC is 5k. Alright. So since we found all the sides of a triangle, now we can find the trigonometric ratios, corresponding trigonometric ratios. So sine theta would be equal to opposite by hypotenuse, that will be 5k by 13k. We can cut off the k, so 5 by 13. Cos theta would be equal to, cos theta is adjacent by hypotenuse, 12 by 13, or the multiplicative inverse of sec theta. Then tan theta would equal to, we can find it from the triangle or from this, sin theta by cos theta is tan theta. So 5 by 13 by 12 by 13, which is 5 by 12. Cosec theta is hypotenuse by opposite side, or the multiplicative inverse of that, or 13 by 5. Sin theta 13 by 5. Then sec theta is the question. Then we need cot theta. Cot theta is reciprocal of this, so this is 12 by 5. Reciprocal of tan theta is cot theta. So we found all the remaining 5 trigonometric ratios. Next question. Third question. If cot theta is equal to 7 by 8, evaluate 1 plus sin theta into 1 minus sin theta divided by 1 plus cos theta into 1 minus cos theta. So it looks like a hefty question, but it's quite simple. Cot theta is given 7 by 8. So we can draw a triangle here. If we draw a triangle, and this is the right angle, we label it ABC. We name this theta. Okay, so far so good. And we know cot theta is adjacent by hypotenuse. So if we multiply this by a factor of k, since we don't know it's the actual length, so we just know it's the multiples of 7 or 8. So we take AB. AB is the adjacent side, so adjacent by opposite is cot. So this would be 7k and this would be 8k, because cot theta means adjacent by opposite. So 7k by 8k, which gives our question. So we need to find AC. We can find AC using the Pythagoras theorem. Root of AB square plus ABC square, which would mean root of 7k whole square plus 8k whole square, which would be root of 49k square plus 64k square. 113k square, which would be k root 113. This would be the final value of this. So this will be root 113 into some k. Okay, we found that. Now we need our question. Our first sub question was 1 plus sine theta into 1 minus sine theta divided by 1 plus cos theta divided by 1 minus sine cos theta. So looking at the question, we can see something. This is a plus b into a minus b, right? We know the identity for that. We learned it in our previous grades. A plus b into a minus b is a square minus b square. So what is 1 plus sine theta into 1 minus sine theta? It's 1 square, which is 1 minus sine square theta divided by 1 minus cos square theta. So we simplify that into this by opening the brackets, and then we need to find sine and cos. So we have to fill in these blanks here to find our answer. So we can find sine theta is, from this triangle, sine is opposite by hypotenuse, so 8 by 8k, but k and k will be cancelled from denominator and numerator. So 8 by root 113, and sine square of this, square of that would be 64 by 113. So 1 minus sine square theta, that would be 1 minus 64 by 113, and cos theta we can do the same. Cos theta is adjacent by hypotenuse, so 7 by root 113. Cos square theta would be 49 by 113, 1 minus 49 by 113. So this would mean 113, we take LCM, this would be 49 by 64 would be the final answer. Second sub question is cosec square theta. Cosec square theta, by the identity we know, is 1 plus cot square theta. And since we know cot theta is 7 by 8, since it's given, 1 plus 7 by 8 whole square is 49 by 64, which would be 113 by 64 would be the final answer. Fourth question, it's a true or false question. State whether the following are true or false. Justify your answer. First sub question, sine a plus b equal to sine a plus sine b. Okay, in such type of questions you have to assume two angles a and b. So if we write a is equal to 30 and b is equal to 45, we just give some value and we have to find sine a plus b and LHS and RHS separately. So sine a plus b would be sine of 30 plus 45, which would mean sine 75. This is not a specific angle, we don't know the correct value of it. A negative value, negative 0.38 something. Okay, but that's not really necessary to solve this question. And we have RHS is sine a plus sine b. We have to prove whether these two are aligning properly. So sine 30 plus sine 45 would be 1 by 2 plus 1 by root 2. This would be 0.5 plus 0.707. This would be 1.207 some, right? Yes. So this is definitely a positive number and this is negative, so it definitely does not make them equal. So hence this is false. The statement is false. But we do have another identity for this sine a plus b, but we'll be learning that in a different class. Second question. The value of sine theta increases as theta increases. So we have seen in that table, we have drawn specific angles. As the angle of theta increases, sine theta increases. Sine 0 is 1, sine 0 is 0, and sine 90 is 1. So we can see as the angle increases, the sine value of that angle increases. But for cos, it's the opposite. So this statement is true. So this statement would be considered true. And in the third question, it's for cos. The value of cos theta increases as theta increases. That is false, because cos theta decreases as the angle of theta increases. Cos 90 is 0 and cos 0 is 1. So the highest value is for the lowest angle for cos. So this is a false statement. And for fourth sub question, sin theta equal to cos theta for all values of theta. That is also false, as we can see in the table. If we take theta as 30, sin 30 is 1 by 2, but cos 30 is root 3 by 2. So they clearly don't align. But there is one angle which they align in, and that is for 45. Sin 45 is 1 by root 2, cos 45 is also 1 by root 2. So we can't say for any value of theta, only for theta equal to 45. So this will be false. Fifth sub question. Cot A is not defined for A equal to 0. Cot A is not defined for A equal to 0. That is true, because cot 0 is undefined, as cot is cos by sine. Cos by sine, cos 0 is 1, sin 0 is 0. So cos 0 by sin 0 would be 1 by 0. 1 by 0 is not defined. So hence that statement is true.